We are live. Welcome to the 7 o'clock talk. It's telling me to cancel. Well, I think in the description we have the questions listed out, and here is the pain in the butt. You turn on the camera, and then she becomes an attention hoe. So, four questions, and we have a little differing opinions on things, and we'll talk about why and what and how. So let's start with the first one. Should I go gluten free? What are your thoughts on that? Because you have a much different experience than I do.
I like it. I mean, a little bit I can tolerate and I do better with it. Makes me feel better, but high quality grains.
So,
Sourdough's good.
yeah. So let's talk about gluten. Let's talk about several things. One is very few people start out being sensitive to gluten. I mean, everybody, when we're young, God, how many people eat, peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, and, we're eating stuff all the time, and it doesn't really cause an issue. And that's because the mucosal lining in the stomach is really healthy. So you have lots of secretory IgA, you have lots of hydrochloric acid, you have lots of bacteria, and so it's not really a problem. But then as we get older, and it's not even necessarily an age thing, as much as, you know, I had an entamoeba infection, I had a couple other things from swimming in the water in Mexico, and those things start to build up and then tear you down. And we're now to the points where we've rehabbed our stomachs, and you can stand a little gluten, and it doesn't tear you down.
Sourdough.
Yeah.
Pizza's like super glue in my stomach, but it's okay.
And we take enzymes for it. So, one of the things I would say is if you've never done a gut repair and you look at your tongue and your tongue has a crack in it, so stick your tongue out.
I just ate.
Stick your tongue out. So, if you look at her tongue, you see that groove in there? That means that you're sensitive to gluten. That, or most likely, it's a physical finding. If you look at my tongue, it's a thing, that deep crack.
On the tooth.
Yeah, that deep crack in the, so if that's the case, then the thing that you don't want to do is you don't want to eat gluten without helping your body. So take enzymes, avoid gluten, go gluten free, rebuild your stomach, use secretory IgA. There's a lot of different things that you can do to make yourself more tolerant to gluten. So generally, for the most part, though, yeah, the more whole foods you can eat without eating bread and stuff like that unnecessarily, I'd say go for it.
We don't eat a lot of bread, though.
Well, we don't even eat bread weekly.
Mm-mm.
So that's just our experience. And it used to be I would get really, really sensitive to it, and my arm would itch and all kinds of things. So, and I've stopped a lot of that. Let's see. Ooh, is a big one here. Let's talk about water. So, is tap water safe to drink? The first thing I'll tell you is go to the Environmental Working Group, the EWG. They have a tap water database, and it will tell you what's in your tap water.
We never drink our tap water, but we filled up our plunge pool, and it smelled like we had walked into a chlorinated swimming pool.
Yeah, there's so much chlorine, and chlorine kills the microbiome. So no, at the clinic, my short answer is no, I wouldn't. I don't.
Mm-mm.
And the long answer is, if you research and you look and you know that the water is clean, then yeah, there are some places that have extremely clean water. But
it's probably why Libby goes outside and drinks the mud puddle, because I just thought about it, because I give her the water out of the tap.
Yeah, and she'll go outside and drink water before she'll drink tap water. And Columbus's tap water, I forget what was it. We covered that a week ago. There are 7 different.
Arsenic,
Yeah,
chlorine.
there's lots of stuff in the water. So, and it's enough that Jessica tested positive for PPA, PBB in her bloodstream. And so we now have RO water here. We have RO water at the clinic. And even for the coffee bar, we bought an Aqua True. And there is a link in the bottom for the Aqua True. I like it so much we became an affiliate. And so I think you can get like $150 off if you go through the link in the description. But that has a charcoal filter, which takes out the chlorine, and then it has a 3-step process, and it takes out the PCAs, the PCBs, it takes out the organophosphates. I mean, as we spoke about it last week, if you drink RO water, you need to put salt back in it because there's absolutely nothing in water, and water is the universal solvent. So if you are drinking just plain clear RO water, your body will seek the minerals from your bones and stuff if you're not in a good diet or have a good lifestyle stuff. Ooh, now here's the controversial one for us. Should or is a glass of wine a night bad for you?
I say that's called alcoholic.
um, so here's the funny thing. If you read the Blue Zones,
Well, so also a glass of wine here and what people actually drink for health is 2 different things. A glass of wine is probably at least 3 servings.
so alcohol is just that, it's a disinfectant. So the biome studies, the microbiome studies on this are still not real robust. And I would say that the studies for the brain are not real good. Now, if you're drinking a glass of wine, legitly drinking a glass of wine, I would say a dark red like a Malbec or something like that, that's grown at altitude and has a lot of resveratrol in it. If you do one little glass a night and it doesn't disturb your sleep, I have a hard time saying that it's bad, other than you've now been told that it does damage the microbiome and it does affect the brain. If your gut is in good shape, you can handle it. And if you see a lot of the blue zones, Sardinia, Italy, Japan, they all drink alcohol and they drink it without adverse effects. I mean, they're living to be 100 years old and they're active. Now, would they live to be 101 or 2? Maybe. I don't know. But the other thing to know is, do you have methylation issues? If you don't detox well, then I wouldn't stress the body more. But if you're pretty healthy and you're happy and you're not drinking to escape, then you're probably going to be okay.
It's all about mindset.
Mindset and how healthy your body is. And then last but not least, what was the other one? Oh, exercise. I don't think any movement is bad.
Yeah, I think any movement is good.
And so are short workouts worth it? If they could bottle the effects of exercise, it would outsell any pharmaceutical that's out there. And so any movement is good movement. Now, but
you can overdo it.
You can overdo it. Yes. Go ahead. I'm sorry, I cut you off.
No, it's fine.
So I guess my caveat with exercise and short exercise is this. What are you going for? If you're wanting health, any movement's great. If you're trying to bulk up and build muscle and you're doing, short walks, you're not going to reach your goal, but it's still not bad for you. Now, if you have to exercise and you stress yourself out about it and you worry about it, then exercise, short exercise, whatever, it depends on your mindset. You know, the this is the way I explain it to my patients and to the people that ask me this question. If you're human, your eyes are in the front of your head. You are predatory by nature. You are supposed to move. If you look at the lymph system in the body, it is built on movement. It doesn't have a pump. The heart doesn't pump the lymph system. So short bouts of exercise are great. The thing I would tell you to do is don't make it a short bout of exercise and then go sit down for 8 hours. That's what's bad. My patients that sit at desks and do desk jobs all day, I tell them set a timer for 15, 20, or 30 minutes and get up, move around, do some squats, but don't just stay immobile. We are not supposed to be sedentary. So, are you doing high intensity exercise? Are you CrossFitting? That's a short workout. I used to have great results with those short 20-minute workouts. Tip of the hat to it's kind of funny. I've been with the same CrossFit gym for 15 years now, and it started out CrossFit retaliation, and then it went to death proof and whatever. I loved that, but I'm kind of built for endurance and I like to lift heavy. Jessica, you don't get along with it.
No, it doesn't like me.
And so, kind of what's the way you're built? Are you built for those short spurts or are you built for the long haul? And so I am of the mind that any exercise is good exercise, and you just want to go into it with a positive mental attitude. You want to look forward to it. You don't want to exercise and then the next day not be able to move. A little soreness is okay, but exercise is great. It's just the way the body is built. There's so many systems that depend on it. And then you have your calm time.
She's sitting on her seat. She's sitting on a seat.
So that's the 4 questions we get the most, and those are the answers to them. Well, right now. And so, with that being said, if you are interested in that AquaTrue, I have a Culligan system. I shouldn't say I'm sorry. We have a Culligan system. And we have an AquaTrue, and we are getting better results on the flavor of the AquaTrue, which eliminates just as much as the Culligan system. And the AquaTrue is a third the price.
Well, and it's also not very big. It sits on your counter, so it's like a large Keurig.
Yeah, it's like a coffee maker.
You just pour your water in it, and basically it cleans it and puts it back out.
Yep, you got to have it does have an active pump, so you got to have a plug-in. But what is it, $400 as compared to, I think, the Culligan system that we have was like $2,200. So try it out. And if there's any way we can help you, or if you have any questions, feel free to write them in. We'll answer them. And until next week, you all be healthy and happy. Have a good day. Oh, happy Valentine's Day.